Iraqis, Lebanese, Syrian, Jordanian, Egyptian. These are fake Arabs. None of those are real Arabs. They were Arabized, but not Arabs. Sudan, Arabized, not Arabs. And
don't claim that shit.
It breaks my heart when some Sudanese call themselves Arabs because I'm like, bro, why?
It's identity crisis. Somalis do this thing too. It's an identity crisis. We are black as the night sky. We have curly hair. Now, do we look like a Nigerian? No, but we're still Africans. And the thing is, Arabs in the Islamic world, Nigerians and West Africans are treated like shit. Somalis and like Sudanese, we're seen as tolerable, but
tolerable. That's disgusting.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
Assalamu alaikum, Habib Albi.
You're who?
أنا يهودي. أيوة. وأنت Muslim?
I'm not Arab, but I'm Muslim, yes.
MashaAllah. From where?
Oh, you're American?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. How the fuck are you on the server?
I'm American Israeli. I'm both. I hold both nationalities.
Okay. This is a clusterfuck because you look Indian, you speak Arabic, and you have a Jewish...
I don't look Indian. I'm Iraqi. This is what a Babylonian Jew looks like. Welcome. Now you've got an educated.
Are you streaming right now?
No, I am recording, but it's not live anywhere.
I'm not gonna say nothing crazy. Here's the thing, man. Like, I think a lot of the hate for Muslims is not for Muslim or Islam itself. I think it's for Arabs, bro, because Arabs are kind of extreme. If you look at Al Qaeda, Daesh, and a lot of these extremist groups, you're not finding Asians or Indians or Africans. You're finding majority Arabs.
But then, how do you explain the hate from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia?
Good question.
I think it's an interpretation of an Islam kind of thing. What I will say is, I'm assuming you come of African heritage, no?
Of course.
So African Muslims, I never have, for the most part, I don't have issues with African Muslims. Like North African Muslims is different. The ones who have been Arabized.
Those are Arabs. Those aren't Africans.
They're not real Arabs, though. They're not real Arabs. They're fake Arabs.
But they ain't Africans, bro. They'll say in a heartbeat they're not
Africans. You're right. And they won't associate with somebody who looks like you. Like they'll be like, no, he's an Abid. He's like, they're not gonna
Yeah, I'm Abid, but they claim to follow the Quran, bro. It's crazy.
But you're exposing everything that I talk about on a daily basis.
But it's not Islam though. You gotta understand.
I agree.
The Torah, the Bible, and the Quran all come from the same area.
Look what I have.
My problem with the Israelis.
Look what I have right here. Okay. Right next to my Torah, I have the Quran.
Okay.
I've read it twice. I have a lot of respect for Islam. I don't have a problem with Islam. I have a problem with.
So you're educated.
I have a problem with people who interpret Islam in a certain specific way.
Here's my problem, right?
Tell me.
So, obviously, the Torah was first Moses and Aaron and I'm trying to think. It's mostly Moses, Dawood. Those are like the typical people in the Torah, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my problem with Israel is, because I don't want to say things I don't know. I just know that back in the day when the Crusades were happening and Christians from Europe were coming and killing fellow Christians of different denominations, Muslims and Jews alike, Muslims were actually like the ones defending Jews. And then once Muslims were controlling Jerusalem, they were pretty fair to Jews. They weren't really oppressing them like that.
That's the Muslim narrative. That's the Muslim narrative, and it's not true. There were periods of times where Muslims treated Jews well, but just like any other group of people, we all lived under the sword and under the boot of Islam. Do you know what the Cave of the Patriarchs is? Have you ever heard of this Cave of the Patriarchs?
Tell me. You probably know more than I do, so I'm not going to speak on what I don't know.
There's an ancient city in Judea called Hebron. Now it's in what they call occupied Palestine. Hebron, maybe you've heard of this city before from the Bible?
I've heard of it.
So it's the Cave of the Patriarchs where Abraham is buried, Isaac is buried, the foremothers and the forefathers of all three Abrahamic religions are buried. When the Mamluks conquered Israel, okay, this is one of the many caliphates of Islam, they barred Jews from being able to pray inside of literally one of the most holy sites to them, where all of their forefathers, I'm just to picture this for you, Arabs from Arabia, the Mamluks, who were Islamizing the region and conquering North Africa and the Middle East. They came in and told us Jews, we can't pray in this space that we were praying in for so long, for 700 years. That wasn't relinquished, not after the Mamluks. Every single Islamic caliphate that came after, including the Ottomans, kept us from being able to pray at one of our most holy sites until we reconquered the land in 1967, which Arabs or Muslims, they will call it occupation, genocide, ethnic cleansing. That's the
Okay,
injustice that
so
Muslims
I'm
do
gonna
to
respond to
us.
that.
Sure.
I'm gonna respond to that. So, in the Quran, you're not. It says when you're dealing with when it talks about the polytheists, they're talking about. I'm not an ISIS member, but like if you think like the Yazidis, or if you think of like different tribes in Africa who I don't know what they worship, but when they're talking about the people of the book, they're talking about the Sabians, the Jews, the Christians,
Correct.
and of those who follow the faith of the people of the book. So you're not supposed to Islamically, you're not supposed to bar people from their faith as long as they're the people of the book. So you can't like you're a Jewish person, and I'm assuming you go to a synagogue. Now, I don't really know a lot about Judaism, so I don't want to talk like I know. But
Everything in your
you guys
Quran
have
is pretty much Judaism. Islam is
yeah.
an inherently Zionistic religion.
Well, the Torah is first, so
correct. So if you believe in Bnei Israel, if you believe that Bnei Israel are the descendants of Yaqub, then you're a Zionist. There's no other way to break it to you.
Now, correct me, because again, I'm coming with respect, so I'm
Sure.
not coming like an Arab that's just gonna say "fuck you"
Sure.
and start talking about things.
And I appreciate that very much, brother. I really do.
So, didn't Moses and Aaron leave the children of Israel for 30 days on the mount
And
with
then
the cow?
and what happened after?
They started worshiping it, right?
And then what happened after?
I'm trying to think. Okay,
they repented and they were allowed into Israel, into the Holy Land. Who were David and Solomon, Daud Suleiman? Who were they?
2 prophets.
And what was their religion?
They were, I believe, they're Jewish.
Okay, so and Jesus, Isa, what was he?
He's Jewish.
Born in Judea, and the Roman occupied Judea. So even Muslims always like to do this thing about what happened with Al-Baqarah, with Surah Al-Baqarah, where we pray to the golden calf. We all acknowledge it. Everybody knows it's part of the story of Passover. We have a holiday all about it. But what happened? We repented. We made a covenant with God, and God allowed us into Israel. And then we entered the Holy Land, and we established our kingdom. That's why we had the kingdom of Judea, the kingdom of Samaria, the kingdom of Israel. David and Solomon built a temple. That's where you guys get the name Al-Quds from. Jerusalem is literally from the name Beit el-Maqdis, Beit HaMikdash in Hebrew. Your entire religion, and this isn't me talking bad about Islam, but your entire religion is based on Judaism. I've read the Quran twice. There's minimal parts about Muhammad. Most of the life of Muhammad ﷺ comes from the hadith and others, but the Quran is almost all of it is the Torah, almost the whole thing. So
same could be said for the Bible, to be honest.
For the New Testament,
the Old Testament is Mosaic law with Moses and Yusuf. Sorry, I'm talking like you're white. So I'm gonna say the Arabic.
The Torah, the Tanakh, the Jews use. We stop before Jesus. We pretty much stop after King Solomon. That's the end of our book. Everything in the Quran is pretty much just a repetition of the Torah. And I appreciate that about the Quran, by the way. I like that about the Quran, that you guys are an inherently Zionistic religion. It's good.
So let's speak on it. So I get the idea.
And I want to say I really appreciate you, man, for being with open mind. And it's really
You're talking to an African, so I'm not an Arab.
God bless you, my bro.
Arabism and all that, like I'm not. The thing with Muslims and the thing I'll
where in Africa, by the way, is your family from? Like, what's your heritage? Sudan. Ah, I love you guys.
Arab,
you know we have many Sudanese people living in Israel, by the way. Many.
No fucking way.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot. Imagine. I want to explain to no. I want to explain to you an insane concept. For all the things that they label us for being anti-Islam, anti-Arab, anti-black, all this stuff, we have Muslim Sudanese asylum seekers who flee to live in Sudan. I'm not saying they have the best life here. I'm never gonna pretend that. But I see them on a daily basis because I live where they live, and they pray in their own masjid here in Israel. Sudanese Muslims. They come from Sudan and they live here as asylum seekers because life is better here than it is in Sudan. Mind blowing.
You're not lying. The problem with the Muslim world, bro, because I can differentiate like culture, society, and people versus a book sent by God, because Jews have done fucked up shit.
Of course.
Christians have done fucked up shit.
Yeah, of course.
Muslims have done fucked up shit.
Absolutely.
ISIS, Daesh, bro. So I can't. The problem is it's not the Quran, bro. It's like not like when you read the Quran, it's not inherently Arabistic or like racist or anything. It's just when you look at the Muslim world, the Africans, like the Asians, Pakistanis are kind of up there with the Arabs, but they view themselves as like the withholders of the Quran, like of Islam. They're the real Muslims, and you guys just happen to follow our faith. And I've noticed that.
Yeah.
But so okay, I'm asking you a question.
Sure.
the Quran has science, the Torah has science, the Bible has science. Things that have been proven years later with modern technology. If Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was offered women, money, everything that any man could want to stop preaching Islam, what was the purpose of him preaching Islam? Do you think he's a false prophet?
Muhammad?
Do you think that he was like? Do you think he was a madman that didn't know what he was talking about?
You think that Muhammad was this false prophet?
No, I'm asking.
No.
Obviously, I follow him.
No, I have I've struggled with the story.
To be honest, you don't have to. I'm not an Arab. I'm not gonna blow you up. I'm not gonna fucking.
I'm not afraid.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm not afraid of anyone,
Listen,
bro.
I'm an African Muslim, and I want to have a genuine conversation.
Bro, don't even worry about it. I'm not afraid of anyone. You could not. You're not imposing either. You don't scare me because you come with a good attitude. So I think the Muhammad specifically, I've always struggled with his story, okay? Especially reading the Quran and then reading a little bit of Hadith. The story of Safiya specifically really bothers me. I have a hard time with it.
You're talking about was his nephew's wife?
No, this is his 10th wife, Safiya. She was a Jew from the tribe of the Banu Quraysh or the Banu Nadir.
Yes.
And at the battle, I believe it's called the Battle of the Rock, if I remember correctly, he basically murders her father and her brother in front of her. He beheads them. And then he goes on to murder all of the Jewish men of that tribe that were before puberty. He has his people look through to see who has pubic hair. And
what hadith is this?
I can't remember the exact hadith. It's called the Battle of the Rock. It's in the Quran. In the hadith, I forget also the name of who wrote the hadith, but it's the most widely accepted hadith in Islam. It's a non-negotiable. Every Muslim pretty much believes in this.
Yeah, if it's true, what you're saying is true, I'm not like the hadith might not be accurate. It might not be.
I referenced it. I'm forgetting the names right now. But anyways, they checked the pubic hair of the boys. They murdered all the boys that were of age. They took the rest for slavery, and then Muhammad took Safiya as his 10th wife.
Oh, Battle of the Trench.
Battle of the Trench. Yes. Sorry, I said called Battle of the Rock.
Where the Muslim forces fought the Quraysh tribe near Mount Uhud.
Now the Muslim narrative is that the Jews betrayed Muhammad. That's and that was the retribution of it. As a Jew, I've always struggled with it. Now I'm going to tell you the opposite perspective to find some positivity. I have a friend. He goes by Jewish Dawa. He's a great thinker. He's an incredible creator, and he's learned so much about Islam. He's one of the most knowledgeable Jew on Islam that I know. He's amazing. His name is Inon. He has a YouTube channel, Instagram. He's incredible. He just wrote a book called Sema Ismail. Yani, listen, hear, O Ismail. As he wrote a book as a Jew towards Muslims or towards the Ismailites, which you guys
know what the main problem is?
Wait, let me finish this because it's an important point.
Of course.
And
100%.
he claimed,
I don't want to be low what you're saying.
He claims to say that Muhammad actually served a really good purpose, even from the agenda of the Jews. What were the Arabs before Muhammad and Islam came around? They were polytheists. They practiced a bunch of different religions.
Listen, Islam is a beautiful thing. And I think, I'm going to say something crazy. If you're recording it, you're recording it. I think Islam did more for the world, like non-Arabs, like Africans, Persians, Asians. I think Arabs haven't learned a lot from Islam. I think because they speak Arabic and they look like, when you think of a Muslim, you think of some Arab guy with a beard.
They're supremacists.
I think they fit the look, but I don't think they truly follow it the way Africans, the way Asians do. So even if you go, I'm from America. If you go to an African mosque, if you go to an Asian mosque, it's nothing but love and respect and brotherhood. When you go to Arab mosque, if there's like an African imam or something, they treat them weird. They're talking while he's.
So I have a problem with what you're saying, and I'll explain why. Okay, and this may break your worldview. I don't know.
Slavery, I know. Arabs are the worst slavery.
No, not just slavery. Not just slavery. It's slavery. Put that on the side because that's just something that's still ongoing. That's just like a part of the Muslim world. This idea of Muhammad coming to the polytheists to forward monotheism, it served a purpose. I always tell Muslims tell me that I'm fake, that this and that. I always say my ancestors didn't need Islam. They say you need to convert to Islam. It's the word of the God. I say I didn't need Islam. My family was already monotheistic. We have been following the God of Abraham for 2,000 years, 3,000 years. My family's from Babylon, from Iraq. So we didn't need Islam. When Islam came to us, where my family was living in Iraq, when they were exiled from Israel, it didn't do anything for us. That's why we stayed Jewish, because we didn't need to be Muslim. We already had monotheism. We already believed in one God.
Under Islamic belief, you guys should be protected and you guys should be seen as people of the book.
Now here's the thing with what you were saying. I actually believe in the counter perspective to what you were saying. I think that the best way to look at Islam, to see the most authentic version of it, is to go to the only real Arabs in the world. And what do I say by the only real Arabs? The
They
Hijazis and
act like that.
the Hijazis and the Halijis. The only real Arabs in the world are the Arabs that live in Saudi, the Emirates, Oman, maybe some that live in Qatar and in Bahrain. Those are the real Arabs, genetically Arab. Iraqis, Lebanese, Syrian, Jordanian, Egyptian, these are fake Arabs. None of those are real Arabs. They were Arabized, but not Arabs. Sudan, Arabized, not Arabs.
We
And
don't claim that shit.
it
We're
breaks my
Africans.
heart when some Sudanese call themselves Arabs because I'm like, bro,
It's
why?
identity crisis. Somalis do this thing too. It's an
Yeah.
identity crisis. We are black as the night sky. We
Yep.
have curly hair. Now, do we look like a Nigerian? No, but we're still Africans. And the thing is, Arabs in the Islamic world, Nigerians and West Africans are treated like shit. Somalis and like Sudanese, we're seen as tolerable, but
Tolerable. That's
some take that
disgusting.
and run with it.
It's
It's
disgusting.
disgusting. But I know you guys have. I don't want to speak on what I don't know. You guys have something similar to that in the Jewish world, but it's not as pronounced.
Yeah, what I would
but that's
say is
everywhere.
we have racism like every other human being group. We have like
No,
slight
but it's a problem because it contradicts exactly what the Quran says and what Muhammad says, peace be upon him.
And that's
And-
the thing. But I think that what your representation of Islam is not correct because if you need to go to the practice to the people who received Islam later and that none of the real Arabs take seriously, like for example, a real Arab does not take you seriously as a Muslim. They don't accept you as a real Muslim. They'll never accept you as part of the ummah for real. And that's as honorable.
No,
as,
they'll say they do. They'll talk. I'm gonna tell you, bro.
but they don't. I've talked to
You're-
thousands of
You're
them.
not gonna change my belief on Islam, but the thing is, like culturally, right? With Arabs, I don't take it to heart too much because Arabs do this to other Arabs, let alone Africans. So I don't really take it to heart. It's even Muhammad, peace be upon him, Arafat, he said the black over the white, or Arab over the non-Arab. None has superiority over the one. It's pretty much the one with the most fear of God, pretty much. Arabs, they're jahils. You know, you're an Arab. You know this language very well.
I'm not an Arab.
I'm an African.
I am not an Arab in any way, shape, or form.
You just said you're Iraqi, right?
I am a Jew. Iraq is not Arab. Iraq was Arabized. They have nothing to do with being Arab. I DNA tested myself. Just like you are not Arab, I need you to moving forward. I need you to know this, bro. When you leave this conversation, Arabs are a tiny group of people. The rest of the region, that's just like Western colonialism placed on us that we're all Arabs. There's Assyrians and Kurds and Mandeans and Coptics and Amazigh and Yazidis.
Definitely, for sure.
We're a diverse region, but we just all get called Arabs because the Arabs colonized all our asses.
Okay, for sure, bro. So the thing in the Muslim world, I'm giving you perspective. I don't know if you know this. So if you read the Quran says, obviously, don't be racist. The 3 ways of ascent in Al-Balad is the freeing of a slave, the feeding on a severe day of hunger, and being those who exhort righteousness and tell each other to follow righteousness. It's just that the Arabs, they inherit, I don't know what it is. Even in America, you see it. I say salam alaikum, and they look at me like, you're Muslim? Well, why would I tell you salam alaikum if I wasn't? So I think with them, it's not the religion. I think they're just like a brainwashed. I think they're like a backwards people. And they follow Islam. They like the way it feels. It benefits them because they speak the language. And the Quran comes easier. But I don't think they really follow it in their hearts.
I'll tell you what it is. It's supremacy. Just like there's white supremacy in this world. And this is something, by the way, that Jews and Africans, this is why we've always historically stood together. And this is a known fact, by the way. Even in America and like early suffrage.
Ethiopia. I don't know any Jews in Africa besides Ethiopia.
No, there were but hey, Jews in Nigeria. There's the Igbo people have this questionable Judaic heritage as well, an Israelite heritage for sure in Nigeria. Jews in Ghana, Jews in Liberia, Jews in Tanzania, Jews.
This is ancient or this is like newer things?
This is ancient and it's still carried over till now. Ethiopia, Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, there's Jews there. All of North Africa, there's Jews been there forever. Jews in South Africa, some have been black, some have been European. Jews have been all over. This is what drives me crazy about Jewish people, by the way. We have this far-fetched imagination where we can imagine Jews going all the way to Spain, but for some reason, and that's thousands of miles away, Gibraltar, there's Jewish communities in the UK, but for some reason, it's like impossible for us to imagine that Jews could have traveled 2,000 kilometers down south to Kenya or to Mozambique. Like, it's not even that far, and it's literally connected to our country by land border. Jews would have walked that distance, and Jews made it an established community in Ethiopia. So I believe that there's probably a lot more Jews hidden throughout Africa.
We got to understand Moses, Aaron, and David. So they were all Jews. So the thing, I think
they weren't Jews; they were Israelites.
Israel.
They weren't Jews yet. They were Israelites.
Thank you for correcting me.
And that, by the way, that
See,
makes it possible for a lot of us to be part of this. I don't believe that you, from your color, skin, or the way that you look, I don't believe that that inhibits you from being a part of my people. Like, I actually think there's a chance, who knows, in Sudan, there might be a sizable community of people who may have been ancestrally Israelite. I don't know.
I don't think the Quran, it's a tricky one, man. So the Quran doesn't inherently say the Bible is wrong, the Torah is wrong, because again, many of the chapters and the stories in the Quran are taken from the Torah and from the Bible. I think what the Quran says and what the stance of most Muslims is that the Quran, the Bible and the Torah are originally from, righteous sources, like the correct sources, but they've been rewritten.
They were corrupted. That's the stance, right?
And I know it's a common thing. You hear, but if we go to the Quran, but I know they'll bring up the 30 Qurans and all of them are burned except for one. The Quran and most of the Hadiths, like, it can be tied back to narrations. Like there's no surah, because we memorize. Do Jews memorize the Torah? Yes, but not the way Muslims memorize the Quran, because the Quran is a shorter book.
That's also not. That's kind of an ignorant thing to say. There's Jews who have memorized the Torah the same way or even better.
But is it in your code? If you go to a masajid, 70% have memorized the Quran front to back and can recite it on demand.
It's a shorter book. The Quran, it's a way shorter book.
I mentioned that. So,
but the thing is, this is the fallacy in that logic. And again, not to disrespect Islam in any way, but the Quran is a repetition. It's a repetition of the Torah and the Tanakh, and even parts of the Talmud. So how do you get your exploratory information? You only have to remember this, but how do you get all your other information? The Quran calls back. The Quran also calls back several times. When in doubt, in the Quran, reference the people of the book. It calls out to read the Torah, to get your exploratory information. A lot of hadith, by the way, many surahs were also written based on the Torah and the Tanakh. So yes, you only have to remember X amount of pages, but a lot of your exploratory information is coming from our book, because your book literally says, honor this book. This is where most of this book came from. All the prophets are from here. All the prophets, most of the prophets are from Israel.
When it mentions paradise and the hellfire, it says that obviously for the polytheists, depending on how you lived your life, that the hellfire is, of course, for them, and for the Muslims can go to hell, obviously can go to the hellfire. It says also, like, when it talks about the paradise of Jannah, it says that all the peoples of the book will be there, because they're ignorant of Islam. So I'll
see you there, brother.
You're not talking to Arabs.
So I'll see you there. Inshallah.
I don't know, dude. I don't know enough info, so I can't say yes or say no. But I'm not gonna let my ego get in the way.
Nah, you're a good dude, bro.
No, you won't be in hell. You're a Jew.
You're a good guy, bro. You're going to heaven for sure.
Okay,
man. You're a good guy.
So, and what I want you to understand is a lot of Muslims, we don't really hate Jews. It's the Arabs. I'm telling you, the ones who are fuck you, Jew. You're a Jew. You follow the Torah. Like, it's Arabs. You don't hear this coming.
Bro, you're speaking to the choir. I traveled around the world. I've been to almost 80 countries. I used to be.
You're not going to Indonesia. They're not going to hate on you like that.
I know. I've been to many Muslim countries. I went recently to Albania. I was there for almost a month. I've been to Bosnia.
Oh, that's cool.
Kosovo. I've been around Sufis in India. I know Sufis in Iran. I have zero problem with Islam. I know I can bro. My landlords are Palestinian. I have no problem with, like,
Palestinians are extremely racist.
Palestinians are horribly racist, but so are Israelis. Israelis can be very racist as well. They are. We have a different kind of racism, though.
Palestinians will look at someone who follows the same faith and still treat them like shit.
Not only that, Palestinians will act on their racism and violence and kill people based on race. We Jews, while we may have, like, Ashkenazis may have some issues with Mizrahis, and Mizrahis will be racist against Ethiopians, we don't kill each other based on it. We just kind of, like, do little jabs and stuff. But at the end of the day, we all fucking get married and have kids together. Like, it's just, that's Israel. We gave up on the racism. I
totally respect that. The thing about Jews, whether you're good or bad, you gotta stick together.
Would you visit Israel?
Would I visit Israel? No.
Bro, you should come sometime. I think you'd really love Israel.
But here's the thing. I wouldn't visit Palestine. I have no reason to.
As a tourist, just to see it.
I'm not against it, bro.
Bro, you should come someday. I would love to have you visit here. I think you would love this country. I think you would gain a lot from it too.
For sure. But I want to get back to
okay.
Pretend, again, you can pretend like you're trying to convert me to Judaism. So I just want to understand. So
okay. We don't do that.
Because I actually want to understand how the I've never read the Torah. I've read the Bible, the Old and the New Testament.
So the Old Testament is the Torah.
Yeah. Okay, then I've read the Torah then.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to the Quran, I like to just think of myself like as if I'm Muhammad. Okay.
Okay.
I'm living in this fucking desert, the people around me, they do shitty stuff. They're horrible people.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand. Number one, if he couldn't read or write, and this is a well-known fact, and he was known as a righteous, honest person, how does he know all these stories from the Torah? Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, what did he have to gain when he was faced with death? Like, literally, he was a part of the Quraysh, but he was speaking against their livelihood. When you mess with a man's money, you're going to see the evil side of him. So I just don't understand. If I'm in Muhammad's position, peace be upon him, why would I bring a new religion? How would I know, and how would I be able to recite it on demand? Because the Quran was in his head and he told it, and it was written.
I mean,
And
look,
if he was to ask,
as somebody who doesn't believe in Islam as a religion, I don't want to start speculating on a religion that's not mine.
Say it, just talk your mind.
No, I don't want to, because I just, like, out of respect, I don't even know. Like,
I'm not recording, bro. Just talk your mind.
No,
I just don't understand.
I don't care. I am telling you, it doesn't. I'm not trying to. Like, I don't care about offending somebody. I just don't want to speculate, because I literally don't know. I have no idea. I mean, you could call it divine intervention. You can call it whatever it was. I just don't take Muhammad as a prophet in any holy way or a righteous way for myself. So
another question.
Yeah.
There's science facts in the Torah, because nowadays you can say one thing, they didn't have a way to fact check it, because we didn't have the modern technologies, we didn't have the internet, whatever. There is science in the Quran. I can bring up. You can bring up every book, the Bible, the Quran, the Torah. You can bring up a list. How, if he's not a prophet of God and he's not from divine intervention, how does he know these things?
Who, Muhammad?
Yeah.
Again,
how did he split the moon? It was a well-known thing that he split the moon.
Because I don't practice Islam, I don't know. I don't have a. It's the same thing that people ask me about Jesus when they try to, like, debate me on whether Jesus was God. He
wasn't God. We all know
but
this.
That's the thing, is, like, I don't care.
And that's why Christians don't like Jews, because they think that.
But this is what I love about being a Jew. I don't care. Like, it does not concern me. I want you to practice your religion in peace in your corner and enjoy. And I want to do the same with myself. And I want the Hindus, even though they're polytheists, I want them to do the same. I don't want us to all have to conform to the same way of life. At least not right now. Maybe in the future there's a day where we can get to that as humanity. But right now, I'm not interested in convincing you, and I don't want you to convince me. To be honest, the life.
So are you on here just for the people that hate Israel, so you can kind of, like, defend Israel? Or are you here to, like,
somewhat? I get paid. It's my job. I'm a YouTuber, and I come on here to record and have conversations with people. And I love having conversations with people like you, because you validate my worldview. The trauma that you've experienced with Arabs is everything that I'm fighting against, because people call me Arab. And my family was violently thrown out of Arab countries or Arabized countries because we were Jewish. And what I'm trying to do, for the most part, that's
crazy, because they're hypocrites against the Quran. The Quran says don't do that.
Yeah, but they did it to us over the course of 1,000 years. All I want to do in life is knock Arabs down a few pegs of their ego and bring them down to eye level with me and explain to them, I have a lot of love for you. I don't hate you. For all Muslims, for all humans. I don't want to war with you. I don't want to fight with you. But if you want to fucking fight, if you want to war, if you want to, let's fucking tango. I'm down. I can go the rounds with you forever. And even if you kill me, I'm coming back for you after the grave. You're not getting rid of us. And the Quran says it, the New Testament says it, the Torah says it, and every single empire that has tried to murder us and make us go away and erase us.
Now let me ask that.
We've always come back.
From what I understand, and you're in a weird position, because when I think of a Jew, I think of, like, some big-nosed white dude. You look like a Middle Eastern.
You're thinking of an Ashkenazi Jew, but most Jews in Israel look like me. 70% of our country looks like me or is black.
Wow. So why did Jews get kicked out of Europe, like, from every place? Like, Europeans aren't Muslim; they're Christian for the most part. Why were they kicked out?
They weren't kicked out. I mean, even after the Holocaust, they retained their population there. There was just a genocide that the Nazis started against the Jews. Okay.
Because the Islamic narrative, this doesn't come from the Quran. It comes from, like, if you listen to, like, scholars and stuff, they say that, I think there might be some hadiths talking about this, about how, I guess, when Jews are in Europe, they introduced the riba, usury, and how a lot of Europeans, they don't like that because it went against their values, and Jews would pretty much financially fuck them.
But listen, you can see, like, around World War II, anytime a society is collapsing, they need to find a scapegoat, and the Jews have always been the scapegoat. You and I can both obviously tell the world is heading towards a very dark place right now. And who's the number one scapegoat for the entire planet right now? It's the Jews.
Jewish people.
So?
I mean, but what about the dancing Israelis of 9/11? Like,
what about the Palestinians who were passing out candy? What is I can give you a million conspiracy theories.
About that. Tell me about that.
Palestinians have consistently, October 7th, 9/11, anytime there's been the bombing of Benghazi, every single time there's been a terrorist attack or some sort of violence against the United States of America and or Israel and or Europe, they go out and celebrate. Palestinians do. Do we have any conspiracies about Palestinians controlling planet Earth? Of course not. You don't think it's cool because it's a human thing. And if there was any Israelis dancing on 9/11, that's terrible. Specifically, if they were dancing to celebrate 9/11, that's a terrible thing. But we don't paint a broad stroke and say every Jew is like that.
When I say dancing Israelis, I'm not talking about some people in Israel dancing. I'm talking about like there's like an actual conspiracy about Israelis like in New York during that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I spar a lot. I get punched in the face, so I think I need to stop. I don't want to sound like a retard.
No, you don't sound like a retard, bro. And I want to go as well, but I just want to say you carried yourself like an absolute gentleman.
What's your YouTube channel?
I appreciate you. I'm gonna send it to you right now. You're the kind of Muslim guy. I think you're the future of Islam in this world. I hope that people like you will get a higher mantle in Islam, and your voice should be.
We won't. I'm a non-Arab.
But you should fight for it because I believe that you have the right kind of Islam. I really do believe it.
Holy shit! I've seen your channel before. What the hell?
What's your name, bro?
Jabril.
Jabril, very nice to meet you, brother. You have a Jewish name, by the way, Gabriel. See you, my brother.
You too, man.
Masalama, habibi. What a nice... I'm telling you, Sudanese, man, I really like Sudanese people. They can really be reasoned with often. From all the Muslims that I speak to, fantastic people. I really enjoy speaking to them. Have you struggled with repping your Zionism in style? Well, boy, do I have a solution for you. Head to thetravelingclad.com and become a sweet Zionist prince or princess today. Or maybe even let the world know you're a white colonizer with matching hat. Tell the comment section you were thrown out of 109 countries by joining the 109 Club with a matching hat. They say it was promised to you 2,000 years ago? Double down and grab a shirt that was promised to you 3,000 years ago with a matching hat. Ever dreamed of Zionizing like me? Do it with a matching hat, damn it! Show off your Iraqi pride by being someone's back daddy, or showing them you were made in Iraq with a matching hat. It's time to laugh in the face of those who attack us. Wear their hate with pride and you become untouchable. TheTravelingClad.com. We got mugs, stickers, shirts, hoodies, and so much more. Go grab yourself something nice, Habibis and Habibtis. You deserve it. If you don't want to buy any merchandise, the best way to support me is by donating on Buy Me a Coffee, my PayPal, or becoming a member on my Patreon. Your support is very much needed and very much appreciated. Thank you.